control up in the beautiful Navajo lands in northeastern Arizona. And you can see by this image that we are sharing with you as we start Fox 10 Talks here at 10 a.m. What a firefight they are going to have on their hands to try to get this thing under control. Thousands of acres of beautiful lands having been destroyed. You know, it's really not that far from a couple of communities up in that area, including St. Michael's and Window Rock. So we are going to be checking in right now with the Speaker of the Navajo Nation. There she is, Crystalline Curley. And Speaker Curley, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, very good. Hey, we're honored to have you on our streaming show on YouTube today. Thanks for your time. Okay, let's get going here just in terms of maybe you can explain to us where things stand with the fire right now. Also, let us know where you are. Okay, wondering if you can hear me now. I think we had a connection going there.
Okay. Uh, yes, I can hear you. Is this a lot of traffic going on here at Hunters Point? I have the boarding school right behind me, and this is the area. If you could see the ridge behind me, that's where the fire is currently at on top of the mountain, and it's going southwest. However, with our latest updates, we have over 9,000 acres that have been affected on the top of the mountain ridge up here. But many of our Southwest incident management team has came on site with the past few days. So there is a lot of collaboration going on at a national level, state level, and also Navajo Nation level of our firefighters. Over 400 firefighters we have here on the Navajo Nation responding to the fire.
Okay, I'm going to share some of the video with our viewers here on the streaming show. It seems like it's kind of windy where you are now. Have the winds been fairly consistent over the last couple of days, which of course is not what you want to see? And would you say they're blowing in the direction of the community or further away? Yeah, I'll just repeat that. Blowing in the direction of the community or further away, and just the extent of the winds. Can you hear me now? Maybe we're having a little bit of a problem with our connection. Hi, Speaker Curley. Can you hear me now?
So right now we had high winds yesterday, and the wind was blowing southwest yesterday afternoon. And within a very short amount of time, the fire traveled approximately 6 miles within just overnight. And the firefighters were also put on night shift last night, just monitoring the line. And today we're expected again high winds. It's a change of direction. We sometimes it blows towards the north, and then sometimes out into the southwest. But it is impacting a lot of evacuation alerts are going out right now in many parts of our chapter communities towards Clackato, Arizona, and then also far reaching towards Ganado, Arizona. So, but our firefighters and responders are responding on both sides of the ridge. Right now, I am on the east side of the fire. However, now the smoke is moving towards west this way. So, but many of our chapter communities, leadership volunteers have been stepping in to help many of the evacuees right now. As of this morning, we have over 100 homes that were evacuated. Evacuations shelters are being coordinated at the Winter Rocks Event Center. here in Fort Defiance, Arizona. Another one last night was open at the Ganado High School Pavilion, right in Burnside, Arizona. So many of those shelters are now open to evacuees. We are still accepting tangible donations. And also, another area that we have to consider is our livestock. Many of our families that live within this region still have sheep, horses, cattle, chickens, and all the way down to pets such as fish, dogs. So a lot of our family members been taking the whole household, including our fur, our pets, and our livestock. So it's been an ongoing effort. Many of our volunteers, first responders, our incident command system has been working 24 hours for the past 3 days. So, but we're very hopeful that the weather will be in our favor this coming week. We're not to 100% guarantee that there will be a thunderstorm here this coming week, but our firefighters are doing that the best that they can. So we do have over 400 firefighters here on the Navajo Nation this morning, and we were just made aware from the Southwest Incident Management Team that there will be more coming on to respond to the fire.
Well, Speaker Curley, it's our honor to have you joining us today. Once again, as Speaker of the Navajo Nation, we appreciate your time, and we will certainly hope for those winds to die down. Thanks very much. Okay, so we are now going to bring Crystal into this whole situation. Crystal, what can you tell us in terms of kind of the squirrely nature of these winds and what's going on up there?
Yeah, so right now I just took a look. The winds aren't particularly strong near the fire. They're like 5 to 10 miles per hour. The closest reporting station I've found is in Window Rock, of course, and right now winds are at 8 miles per hour. They're coming out of southeast, so you heard the speaker just mention that those winds have been pushing more towards the west. So if you have a southeast wind, it's going to push towards the northwest.
Okay.
Whatever direction it's coming from, the opposite way is where it's going to push. But the interesting thing about wildfires, and we've talked about this a lot of times before, is that they create their own kind of weather patterns, especially as they start to get larger and larger. So this one being, beyond 6,000 acres now.
Yeah. Well, in fact, she updated now at
9,000. You're right.
Now, I'm just going to try to pull up your weather maps. I don't see that.
There it is.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay. So just to orient people where we're talking about, there's Window Rock in the northeastern corner of the state. It's a little more than an hour's drive, maybe hour and a half drive north of St. John's. But boy, you look over in the Hopi lands and 25 mile an hour. Those are sustained winds or those are gusts?
Those are the wind gusts that we're looking at right now. Yeah. So gusts, right, they've been pretty consistent the last couple of hours in this like 15 to 25 mile per hour range. But Window Rock has not been reporting much in terms of gusts specifically. So that's good to see. Yeah. And then you heard her mention too, there is the potential for some thunderstorms, not just today, but again tomorrow and even possibly Thursday. Although I think today, tomorrow are their best shots of rain. So hopefully if they can get some good thunderstorm activity, not dry thunderstorm, but actual rain overhead, then that'll allow for at least some assistance to the firefighters there.
Let's talk about the other big weather phenomenon that is going on. I'm just going to roll some of the video from this morning. And, if you got up early and you looked out your window and you thought, what is this, like foggy San Francisco? I kind of half jokingly on the show earlier this morning said, welcome to the Valley's version of fog, right? It's this kind of haze. What actually happened overnight?
Yeah, so this is really interesting. We don't too often have dust that lingers for so long, right? We're used to dust storms, but not that lingers so long. If you want to switch back to my graphic, I'll take a look at kind of what happened here. So this is the live view from our tower cam, and you can see the haze hanging along the horizon as we look from South Mountain across the valley. What happened was that overnight there was some thunderstorm activity. It was moving kind of from north to south down the eastern edge of Arizona, and some of those thunderstorms near the Tucson area kicked up quite a big dust storm, and then that dust eventually pushed towards us. So I looked at the Chandler Airport readings. They have hourly readings at all our airports. Between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., there were gusts between 20 and 30 miles per hour pretty much consistently. So that was when those gusty conditions rolled through, dragged the dust in. But then the winds calmed down. So the winds dropped. It's also a bit more humid outside. Humid air helps to suspend particles like dust in the air more easily.
Okay, yeah.
So you had this combo of some lighter winds, some humid air, and it basically kind of glued the dust into our atmosphere.
Wow.
It has turned a bit more breezy, it's currently scouring out the dust a little bit, but actually you can see this graphic is a live camera of Tempe Town Lake behind this graphic, and it still doesn't look great.
No.
So if we look at our current visibilities, Chandler, the airport, is reporting 3 miles. If you're below a mile, quarter of a mile, that's when there's actual issues with driving. So there's no driving concerns, but it just is an indicator that the air quality is suffering. And actually, the Maricopa County has put out an air quality alert because of the dust that's suspended in the air over the valley. Like I mentioned, the winds have picked up some, helps to mix the dust a little, but it's really not improving much. 15 to 25, almost 30 mile per hour gusts in Mesa and Deer Valley as well. And then the kicker to this is because there is the potential for another round of thunderstorms. Take a look, and there's that dust storm advisory in place for both Pinell and Pima County later today. So we could have more dust to add insult to injury this afternoon.
Okay, and the best chance for rain in the next few days?
Okay, good question. So for us today, it's a low chance in the valley as we head into the evening between 5 and 10 p.m. But this is only a 10 to 20% chance. I'd say the foothills outside of the valley, a little better potential. Much higher likelihood of thunderstorms around the Flagstaff area, the high country between 1 and 6 p.m. today. And then tomorrow actually is when I think the valley has a little more of a shot for us to see some storms. So you can see by tomorrow, we go from today dry to tomorrow some scattered activity. And that would again be late afternoon into the evening and possibly overnight for some scattered thunderstorms.
Just real quick, I'll jump in. Question here from Brandy the Bookworm, one of our most loyal viewers. Crystal, is there any lightning with the potential rain up in the Navajo lands?
Yeah, so these would be thunderstorms, so the potential for some lightning as well up there, which is why I said, hopefully if we get any thunderstorms up there, they'd be nice and moisture laden. This is a good monsoon pattern, so some steady rain with it to help out, because obviously you don't want any dry lightning in the area.
And here's one more we rolled, not just on our downtown cam, but this is what it looked like for folks in the Maricopa area. That's at 347 out there at about Riggs Road, and it just had that smutsy feel, really.
Yeah, it looks gross.
Not just for the 5 million. You're exactly right. It is kind of gross, that's for sure. All right, so Crystal, we did hit 116 yesterday. Today, what do you think?
Yeah, so we aren't going to be as hot. I went 112 for the forecast high temperature, only because of the fact that we've got this dust this morning, so maybe it keeps us slightly cooler. But overall, still hot, that extreme heat warning until this evening.
Crystal, thank you. We always love and have you on the stream, that's for sure. By the way, we got a mystery cam shot. Oh, that is super cool. Back in a flash. Well, the guesses are coming in this morning, and hey, here's a treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's Anita.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, just back in the building. Thank you for joining for a few minutes. In case you missed the announcement yesterday, Celeste is on vacay this week. Well earned.
Yes.
I'll say. Boy, she does so much. It's incredible around here, as do you.
As do you.
Thank you. Mystery Cam time. We're taking your guesses. Let me just look around here. I got a Brandy with Kentucky. Good sized city. I could see that. Louisville actually is one of my favorite cities. I've only visited there once, but I loved it. And I've gone on record as saying that was my favorite burger of all time.
We got a Chicago in the
Louisville.
chat box.
Chicago. Hey, Mr. Paul Valine's on today. That's great. I hadn't seen him yesterday. But he's suggesting Seattle.
Okay.
Dave, by the way, it's great having Dave on. He's like, hi, Anita. And Mr. Paul Valine is saying, you know what? I need a vacay, too. You and Celeste should have coordinated.
I need a vacay, too. I just got an email saying that I have too many vacation hours and that I need to take some time off.
Yeah.
That's a good email to have.
Hey, by the way, our numbers just keep growing this morning as more
Wonderful.
people around the world discover Fox 10 Talks. Now over 60 people watching, and thank you. If this is your first time checking it out, we do a live stream from the Fox studios here in Phoenix, Arizona. I am Ron. This is Anita. Celeste generally joins, and Desiree will be around in a little while. All right, so with Chicago, Atlanta, Seattle, Kentucky, we're getting some pretty good guesses. I think... wait a second. I think
What?
I know what it is.
Okay.
What's your guess, first
I
of all?
don't have one.
You don't even want to
No.
hazard. Okay.
I've
Name
seen
a random state.
I've seen this before.
Name a random state.
Minneapolis.
Okay.
No, wait. I'm looking at that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was looking to. 3, 2, 1. What do you say?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not guessing today.
I see.
I came in too late.
I think I see the logo of Ford.
Yeah.
Which that's the football field for the Detroit Lions. So
I think you're right.
I am going Detroit.
Okay. Detroit.
And let's just see if that's really what
You
it was.
all ready?
Yep.
Oh.
Oh,
Detroit.
nice. Good.
You're too good at this game.
Well, I do kind of have a map stuck in my head.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You're our geography, history, all things
Yeah.
buff.
Hey, all right, let's get right into some of the other stories that we're following this morning. And we're still learning. There's still so much more to learn about the story that everybody was talking about yesterday. This little 4-year-old dead after drowning in a public pool with dozens of people at the pool. It's a public pool, but it was an Sunday evening get-together as a church event, and we're still waiting to hear more from the church itself. But I can tell you this, we were able to report later in the day yesterday that 18 lifeguards were set to be on duty when it happened. That's what makes it so difficult to figure out with moms and dads, I'm sure, who were there. People are going to be keeping an eye on their kids. There's just so much more to still sort through, Anita.
A lot of variables in a situation like this. And, I think the first question a lot of people asked yesterday was why wasn't anyone watching? But one thing we were talking about earlier is, were there any underlying medical issues? What was the situation that led to this? And I think that that is obviously under investigation, and for those investigators to determine. Nonetheless, a terrible tragedy, and one that you hope we can continue talking about so it can be prevented.
And you would think if there was, and it's a good theory, that possibly there was some kind of a medical emergency.
We don't know.
We don't know,
No.
but you would hope that they would come forward pretty soon
Yeah.
and kind of start to spell out exactly what was going on. It's just right now kind of unfathomable. And then, speaking of unfathomable, we have this story that, to me, I mean, if you look at these pictures coming in out of the Tucson area, ever been up to Sabino Canyon yet, Anita, up in the Catalinas? If you haven't been yet, you will love it.
I
It
don't think
is
we have.
so beautiful. Great hiking up
Okay.
there, and they have a tram for tourists
Oh, fun.
that go up into that area quite often.
But here's the thing, Ron.
Yeah.
Don't go hiking now.
Do not go
Don't go
hiking now. And even though Tucson is several degrees cooler than us, usually, I mean, if we have been in the 110 plus range, they're still going to be in the 105 range.
Yeah, it's hot.
At least 100 plus. And so a little 15-month-old was among the 7 people who had to get rescued off a hiking trail up there in Sabino Canyon. That was Sunday. Now, this was a serious situation because 5 of those hikers had to be airlifted. In fact, 3 were in bad enough shape they had to be taken right to the hospital.
Heat exhaustion, it will hit. And, we talked about this yesterday with Crystal because we had another rescue. 11 people, a family of 11 people here in town off South Mountain. And these trails here locally, at least, I'm not sure about the one in Tucson, but these trails here locally are closed. So there's a big warning out there saying, do not continue. But the tough thing is, though, if you live here, you know the heat. If you don't live here, you don't know the heat as well, and you don't realize how quickly it hits. But I was just out on a live shot. I was out for maybe 10, 15 minutes, and boy. You don't even realize it, but you don't realize how quickly. And I try to stay fit, and I have my water, and I'm hydrating, and it is just so gosh darn dangerous. There's a reason that they're closing these trails.
And that comes from somebody who is our hot yoga expert here in
that's
the Fox
thing.
10.
Yeah.
She goes and does hot yoga most days of the week.
Yeah, even in this heat.
And you're in better shape than 90% of people because of that training, and it affected you in the last hour.
It did.
Yep.
It really did.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I had to go sit down.
All right. Do not go hiking in this extreme
No.
weather, and do not take babies.
No,
I mean, those are the 2
absolutely
takeaways
not.
right there. All right. Big all-nighter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're like the all-night cafes up on Capitol Hill. Actually, there are none.
I
mean, they have a cafeteria, so that probably stayed open
they
all
probably
night.
had someone bring in food like Uber Eats.
Probably. I bet
Maybe.
they have vending machines.
Mhm.
So
They probably have snacks in their desk drawer.
let's check in with Fox's Doug Luzader. Here's his report from earlier this morning.
Good morning. Kind of a holding pattern at the moment. They've had this votorama, they call it, going on through the course of the night, more than 20 hours, where they just go through one amendment after another. And now it's a matter of counting noses to see if Republicans can make the numbers work.
We're going to start doing 10-minute votes.
Republicans are now trying to speed up what has been quite a process.
It's going to be a long day, so pack a lunch.
Lunch, though, soon gave way to dinner, with breakfast this morning not far behind.
The most massive transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich in the history of the country.
Democrats have decried efforts to slow the growth of big welfare programs like Medicaid. Republicans say taxes will go up if this bill doesn't pass.
If you want higher taxes, which apparently they do, this bill is your nightmare because we're going to keep tax cuts low.
All of this legislative drama has reignited a feud between President Trump and billionaire Elon Musk, who has questioned the bill's cost, warning Republican supporters that they will lose their primary next year if it is the last thing I do on this earth. President Trump responded, pointing out the big tax credits that Musk's car company Tesla has benefited from, and noted his big spaceflight contracts, writing, "Perhaps we should have DOJ take a good hard look at this." And waiting in the wings is Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, who will have to usher the Senate bill with all of its changes back through the House again, assuming it makes it that far.
We'll see what the final product is. I'm very hopeful and optimistic as always.
Okay, now, as far as the numbers are concerned, in the Senate, we know of at least 2 no votes on this bill. Republicans can afford to lose 1 more. But that would involve then a tie-breaking vote by the vice president. And guess who just arrived on Capitol Hill about an hour ago?
Really?
The vice president.
Is
Now,
that
he.
right?
Now, obviously, you want him there to potentially cast the vote, but he's obviously got some experience in the Senate as well, and he may be there to just, help twist a couple of arms to see if they can get this thing done. But this is going to be close.
Yeah, there are arms to be twisted, no doubt about that, Doug. What about this threat of Elon Musk? Is anybody taking this seriously? Not that it would change a single vote. Anybody taking it seriously, though, where he actually went online and said, I'll start a third party?
Yeah, I think you could take it seriously, but to your point, it probably doesn't change any votes. I think a lot of these members are more tuned in to what the president is doing and saying. But look, Elon Musk carries some weight, and he packs a pretty powerful political punch, just given the kind of impact that he can potentially have in elections. And if he's promising to help primary a lot of these Republicans that vote for this, I mean, that's something they've got to think about.
And The update is this. It did pass. So that was earlier in the day with Doug. It passed about an hour ago, and it was a 50-50 tie. The vice president had to break it. So here then, following up in this feud between Trump and Musk is what the president said from the White House this morning.
Who? What happened to Elon Musk? Nothing. No, he's upset that he's losing his EV mandate, and he's very upset about things, but he could lose a lot more than that. I can tell you right now. Hey, Elon can lose a lot more than that. We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible? He gets a lot of subsidies, Peter. But Elon's very upset that the EV mandate is going to be terminated. And you know what? When you look at it, not everybody wants an electric car. I don't want an electric car. I want to have maybe gasoline, maybe electric, maybe a hybrid, maybe someday a hydrogen. If you have a hydrogen car, it has one problem. It blows up, So I'm going to give that one to Peter. I'm going to let Peter test it out.
I think he meant, did he mean Peter Ducey?
I don't know.
Who was always there in the gaggle of the press. By the way, Desiree joins us. Well, Des, we're going to roll out the poll question, and here's what it looks like. Okay, so you just heard it. President says Doge needs to investigate Elon Musk over his big government contract. 64% of you say, yeah, do it. He created this monster in the first place. 15% say, I still hate the cuts Doge has been making. It just needs to go away. And then 21% are on Elon's side in this thing, saying, look, Musk hates the BBB for raising the debt by $3 trillion. And I agree with him. So grab that QR code. Let us know what you think. And ladies, I'm going to pop up the YouTube poll. Des, why don't you walk us through this one?
Yes. So our poll question here on today, it says President Trump says Doge needs to investigate Elon Musk over his government contracts. Obviously, the same options apply. 34% say yes, he created this monster in the first place. 55%, I agree with Musk. So this one's a little different, right, than the last?
Yeah. It's interesting. There's always a dichotomy between the YouTube poll and that first one, the QR code
poll. That's a big difference.
Oh, that's okay.
It's a huge 65% say yes. And what's the other one? What was the other one?
The other poll?
Yeah.
34.
Okay.
34. That's, I mean, that's almost double.
16.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's why we give you multiple options.
Ah, there we go.
We are going to take a break. By the way, here we go. Oh, that's a nice view. Oh, hold on. So, though I have a better view. Stand by right here. It is. Well, there you go. With a haze in the air in downtown Phoenix, we are viewing it from a few miles away out there in Tempe, looking back at the city. And yeah, I mean, there is definitely a haze in the air. But Crystal walked us through why that's going on a little bit earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, I always say by popular demand, the Dave Cam, or as we love to call him, Big D, is all set and ready to go. I'm trying to hear your microphone. Can you hear me, Dave?
I can definitely hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Good.
we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you for sure. All right, so lots of action on the poll question. In fact, I'll just check and see if we have any updates on this. Looks like it's still on both of them running about the same as before. What are you hearing from folks, though, Dave?
Yeah, a lot of good comments, a lot of engaged conversation. Joyce Stinson from Litchfield Park says the industries created by Elon Musk are not above reproach. Anybody who is receiving taxpayer money should not flinch at the sight of investigation. After all, almost everybody in every department could do a little better with taxpayer money. And then Truth Nation TV says Trump wasn't thinking about big government contracts until Musk went against him. Until then, he was honored to have the rich chap by his side. So lots of good stuff on both sides here. Keep the conversation going. Keep the comments coming, guys.
Okay. Dave, thank you. So here now at 10:31, I think there were a lot of shockwaves, Des, yesterday when the story came out that apparently there's not even going to be a trial here for Brian Kohberger in one of the most gruesome murder cases our country has seen in a very long time. The killing of 4 young college students at the University of Idaho in Moscow. But the families are so upset about this now that they have been talking about it. And I'm just flabbergasted that the prosecutors didn't do a better job of making sure the family members of the 4 victims were satisfied with how things were going.
Right. And wouldn't that be a priority as a prosecutor? I mean, you have 4 victims, 4 families, so many people impacted by what happened here that you would maybe prepare them on what's to come or what could come down the pipeline, is even as far as what is in the plea, if the families were open to him accepting some sort of plea deal, you would think they would have known kind of the details of at least what would be in it.
And if some family members feel like, look, for the sense of justice, put him on trial.
Yeah.
That has to, I think that has to carry probably more weight than anybody else with any other stake in this. So here's what their statement said, and this is from Aubrey Gonsalves, who said on Facebook, "We have believed in the process. We've had faith in the system. But at this point, it is impossible not to acknowledge the truth. The system has failed these 4 innocent victims and their families." I'm no lawyer, but it seemed like it was a rock-solid case. If they had wanted to go forward with it, just observing it from the outside, his sheath was found at the scene with his DNA on it in the murder house. And so his defense had been fighting to allow this alternate suspect theory to be used in court. The judge finally said, get out of here with that. We're just going to move forward with trial. It was going to be starting, I think, in about another month and a half. But now this kind of stunning decision. And so I guess.
And good for the judge for not allowing that. I mean, in this case, there's so much condemning evidence that points straight to Kohberger. So the idea of that just seems absurd.
Right. Okay, so the development comes in, and we will just kind of continue to watch it for you, primarily because, there still could be some twists and turns in this case, but it does sound like they're actually moving closer to a conclusion. Just purely from a saving your own skin standpoint, Kohberger, it's understandable when he was offered a plea deal, he took it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I believe, this is years ago, I was up in Boise covering a story. I mean, this was like 30 years ago. But we were talking about the laws that they had on the books up there. And at the time, they still allowed firing squads to execute
as part of
convicted killers.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's still on the books or not, but Anyway, every state has their own
And
way.
people see things, see it differently. Taking the plea is his admission of guilt and kind of the cowardness of not wanting to maybe face trial. So I can
Right.
understand why the victims' families are so upset, And depending on whatever side you're on, whether you support the death penalty or not, I mean, I think it's hard to imagine what it would be like to be in the position of these families.
I like your take on that. He's been a coward all the way through.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Amazon because people knew this day was coming and it looks like it's here.
What, robots are taking over?
Robots are taking over. First, we're worried about AI. Now it's the robots. The Wall Street Journal this morning has a really interesting story saying that Amazon is approaching a milestone that the company will soon have every bit as many robots as humans in all of their warehouse facilities, at least in the U.S., and I think maybe in some locations around the world. So they rolled out something called Vulcan, which is a robot equipped with a sense of touch. Okay, it gets weirder, right?
What?
That allows it to
What is
pluck
this?
products from shelves, almost like you could visualize like a robotic arm or hand.
But how would it know what product to grab?
gotta
What
be
if I ordered the purple shirt and it
Right.
grabs the black one? Like how
Yeah,
will
right?
it know?
It's got to be like based on the QR codes or whatever.
Wow.
Those aren't SKU, SKU, the SKU code,
Yeah,
something
the
like
number,
that,
Yeah,
right?
there's got to be a way. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so a research manager who follows these trends said, look, they are one step closer to the realization of full integration of robotics, and it is going to cost a lot of people their jobs, and I do think that Amazon's been doing a good job of trying to raise the pay levels for warehouse workers because it is monotonous, and yet a lot of people were willing to work there, but it sounds like those jobs are gradually going to fade away to
I
the
had a family
robots.
member that was working in an Amazon warehouse, and they just described the amount of workload as just it was too much. And there's a lot of pressure on keeping up with the robots now. So they expected the output of a human to keep up with that of the robots too, whether it be, you have to package up 600 whatever it was, items a shift. That's a lot.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what I order most from Amazon, and it's usually like I don't know, cleaning products. I'm sort of a cheapskate when it comes to headphones or earbuds or whatever. So
Okay,
I like
so
to
you order
order
those on
pretty
Amazon?
consistently because I
'Cause
seem
you
to
lose
lose
them.
and when they're only
That's
like
smart.
$8.
Yeah, you don't want $200 AirPods or anything that you can lose?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
I wonder what I ordered the most. Oh, that would be fun if Amazon could track like your most ordered item. I know it will save your favorites.
yeah.
But
Hey, by the
I
way,
don't know.
we're getting some great comments. We love chatting with you guys. And for our new viewers, if you watch us on YouTube, you can jump right in to join the friendliest chat on the internet. Mr. Paul Valine says, you know what? It's a good thing I'm an auto AC mechanic. I don't think there are robots for that. These specialized jobs that mechanics can do, that plumbers can do, that electricians can do.
How do you replace that?
You see, I don't think you can. And so I agree with you, Mr. Paul Valine, 100%. So anyway, we have this story this morning, Des, that to me I thought was kind of interesting. Two business stories that I think will get everybody chatting. Did you hear about Lululemon? Two huge names in the retail world. Lululemon is suing Costco.
Ooh, it's
This
a
sounds like a
showdown.
battle of the giants, right? The lawyers are going
Yeah.
to make out really well here.
What, for all the dupes? We love a good dupe, though.
Yeah.
Come
Well,
on.
okay. So,
Lululemon. I don't own a single piece of Lululemon attire.
So you buy the knockoffs like a lot of
I
people
do. I have 4 kids.
Sure.
I
yeah.
can't afford Lululemon
Okay.
for myself.
Well, basically, I mean, we're talking leotards and stuff like that, right?
Leggings, the
Leggings,
the
okay.
athleisure wear, right?
Oh, right.
Because if we say leggings, you think
Okay.
workout, but I think folks,
Uh-huh.
we now wear it around town,
Right,
so it
that's for
doesn't even
sure.
matter.
So anyway, according to the suit, Costco's Kirkland brand is selling similar clothes in the athleisure wear with pants and hoodies and jackets at a fraction of the price. So, I mean, Lulu says Kirkland is duping customers into thinking they're coming from the same supplier as Lululemon. But people know what they're buying.
I would
don't
think
they?
so. If you're in Costco, I don't think you think you're buying Lululemon
Right.
for
Okay.
75% of the cost.
So for a
Less
pair of
than
pants, I have to admit I've never shopped at Lululemon.
Mhm.
But for a pair of pants, what would you spend for Lululemon versus, say, the knockoff?
I would not. I would not. Ron,
Right.
I don't own it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't buy it.
But I mean, my point is, I think people are
Let's see.
smart enough to know they're not buying Lululemon.
I would think
They're
so.
buying
So I just
Kirkland.
Googled
Yeah.
Lulu, just real quick.
Yeah.
Looks like a stretch woven ruffle pant, women's pant,
Yeah.
$128.
That's
so if
the
you go to
Lulu
Costco,
version.
yeah.
And you
if
get it for $39.
$30. You got to know you're not buying the real
Correct.
deal.
Right.
But is Lululemon going to come after Amazon and all the companies on there that sell dupes? Because, I mean, you can go on Amazon and
There you
just
go.
find duped Lulu leggings or anything. So.
Des with the good perspective right there. All right,
Oh my
Cracker
gosh,
Barrel.
their leggings, high-rise leggings, $118.
See?
I can't.
Right. How about you just bring the prices down, Lulu, instead of hiring a bunch of lawyers? All right. Cracker Barrel is getting a remodel, and customers, I love Cracker Barrel.
Do you?
Oh, I just
I
love
remember
it.
the Cracker Barrel days with my grandma. She loved going
Back
to
in
breakfast
Buffalo?
there. Yes.
Yeah?
We only had one. It was near the airport, so it was like
Nice.
a special trip to go to Cracker Barrel.
Oh my
What's your breakfast?
Well, I only
order?
have gone there for lunches and dinners.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm more of like either an IHOP guy,
Mhm.
or like local family breakfast joints.
Okay.
But I just love a good chicken dinner with their sides of corn
Mhm.
and green beans.
Oh,
I
yum.
just think they have the best veggies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
but they're
anyway.
they're it's shaking things up on us.
Yeah, they're going to ditch some of the old-time farmhouse type decor, and they're rolling. This is almost 10% of all their locations have finished up the renovations, and more are coming. They're going to go with a little more of a modern look with crisp white walls and a bunch
Oh.
of booths instead of tables. I do like a booth.
I do like a booth, much more
Yeah.
cozy.
Right. But keep the farmhouse. If it's not broke.
But you know what, Ron, though, like modern farmhouse is such a trend right now. Maybe we should be open to it. Maybe, they just need a little refresh.
Yeah.
As long as they don't get rid of the store when you walk
right.
in. Don't get rid of all the good
Cracker
stuff.
Barrel going. Okay, we are going to be taking another break, and then we are back with a bunch of interesting stories for you, including why people are buying up Yankees tickets like crazy. Back in a flash. All right, everybody. We welcome you back. And by the way, we have the governor speaking. So this is on remote 14. I don't think I have the button for that. I'm going to let you guys call that up right now. She's signing the budget and speaking. Here's our governor, Katie Hobbs. Let's listen.
Stay in Arizona. A loss. A loss that would have been felt not only economically, but would have also hit Arizonans and visitors who love engaging in a favorite American pastime. And I'm so glad we are able to make that happen so families like yours and mine can continue to make memories at games every year. There is still more to do to achieve opportunity, security, and freedom for all Arizonans. This budget moves us in the right direction, but it's not the end of our efforts. Arizonans can trust that I will continue to fight for the things that will actually improve our lives and provide you with the opportunity to support your family, the security to sleep peacefully at night, and the freedom to choose the path that works best for you. Thank you so much. And with that, let's sign this budget.
Interesting that one of her main remarks in the budget is getting that deal done, which have been talked about for years, to keep the Diamondbacks happy, to upgrade that stadium. If you don't understand how intense the competition is for these Major League Baseball teams, just Google Portland, Oregon MLB Stadium or Salt Lake City MLB Stadium. These cities are ready to go, and they will steal
without teams.
They will still steal our team as fast as you can say Bob's your uncle. Is that still a phrase? Does anybody still say Bob's your uncle?
I just agreed with you. So
hold on. Glenn says no, but Big D.
No.
Big D, you remember that old phrase? Bob's your uncle. Oh, look at the applause for Big D. Wait a sec. We're mixing audio. All right, everybody. Welcome back. That was great having the governor on there for just a minute. Ladies, I think we have got to talk about probably the most creative bobblehead. Was it Cattell Marte a few weeks ago, Glenn? They had the bobblehead night at the D-backs. I think it was for Big Cattell. But look at what the Yankees are doing. And to me, this is so fantastic.
They're one-upping us?
Are they?
Are they?
They're trying. Okay, ready? Here we go. This is going to be on Graphics 3. Let me punch it up for you. That is George Costanza taking a good nap.
Under the desk, too? I don't know.
So this is August. August 21st. I'm sure that's like 3 or 4 different episodes with Seinfeld over the years, right? So Yankee fans are so enamored with another George Costanza bobblehead giveaway that tickets to the August 21st game are selling so fast on secondary sites that they basically are going for some pretty sky-high prices. I mean, I think face value for the cheaper seats at Yankee Stadium, I'm guessing, would maybe be around $40 or $50. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing listings on eBay going into the $200, $250 range per seat. And yet tickets for a Red Sox game we're going for as low as $50 on StubHub. So people want to come to this game because you get the bobblehead.
I'm sure there are some season ticket holders thinking about selling those tickets. It's like, do I go and miss the opportunity here to make some cash?
Sure.
But how clever, George under the desk.
Yeah. Well, his quote was, I love a good nap. Sometimes it's the only thing getting me out of bed in the morning.
Oh.
It's like a perfect Seinfeld line. Were you either of you guys Seinfeld fans?
I watched some Seinfeld. Yeah, not every episode, but I'd watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, Isabella, at your house?
I've seen a couple.
Okay, couple for sure.
Are you a big fan, or take it or leave it?
You know what? I actually really do like it, but I just don't watch a lot of sitcoms.
Yeah.
Get this. I was on a flight the other day that had the seat back screens. And on that particular airline, every seat had a screen. And I started watching Frasier episodes from like,
good old Frasier.
And I'm like, actually, this show was really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen a couple of those too.
Yeah. Okay, so it's National Hot Dog Month.
Yep.
And when you think hot dogs, they're probably Portillo's. Any like hot doggy place come right to your mind?
Any
you
hot
guys?
dog, doesn't matter. I'm not too
Okay,
picky.
all right. I think Costco for their $1.50 hot dog.
I
and
have
Coke.
not had a
Very
Costco
big.
hot dog yet.
Really?
No.
Oh, you got to go give that a
No.
try.
I only get the pizza.
At
Oh,
Costco?
pizza?
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay.
But I also think a Miracle Mile, and this is so cool. Here's what Anita discovered when she was hanging out with them today.
You guys are known for a lot of really fantastic, delicious food. Hot dog's one of them.
Yeah.
Wow. So you have a really fun special.
We do, yeah. So all of July long, we are going to be running an $8 hot dog special. So it's going to be a hot dog, fries, and a drink, or you can get a side item of your choice if you don't want fries. This is going to be $8 all July long. So you can come and celebrate this with us all month long.
Okay, so I know there are a lot of toppings that you can put on a hot dog, Josh. And the big controversy is, do people put ketchup on a hot dog? What say you?
I don't. I put nothing on a hot dog. I am a naturalist. I love the
Not
flavor.
even mustard?
Not even mustard.
Oh, Tom's going to eat this one because he likes mustard.
I love the flavor of just the all beef kosher hot dog that we serve here. It's a Hebrew National hot dog. We've been serving them for 76 years. This is our 76th year of business here in the Valley.
Wow.
So we're very, very lucky to be celebrating that with the community.
And those
Gosh, and
Hebrew
his-
dogs
They're
are
such a legend, Miracle Mile.
Yeah, he's right. Those are really good hot dogs. But are you guys, if you were just going to fix one, or you're over barbecuing with friends or family or whatever, what's your option?
I definitely do like the ketchup and mustard and a
Okay.
little bit of relish.
Yes.
But I was thinking, I don't know how popular this is here in Phoenix, but in Tucson, the
Yes.
Sonoran dogs are very
So
popular.
tell us more about those, because you were on
Yeah.
the air in Tucson for a couple of years,
I
right?
was,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So the Sonoran dog, it's like the Southern Arizona special. And as soon as I moved there, everyone said, you have to get a Sonoran dog.
Yeah.
So it's like a bacon wrapped hot dog. And there's a
Oh.
little bit of mayo in there and
Okay.
a lot of like grilled onions. I don't know. There's a lot of
Wow.
flavors. It's
You
really
know,
good.
Crystal, our meteorologist, said she loves this good Sonoran dog too, with like pico de
Oh.
gallo,
Yeah.
guac. It has everything
Uh-huh.
on it.
I got to get on board with this.
I
You
know.
definitely have to try it.
What's the go-to in Tucson for the Sonoran dog? do
El
you think?
Guero Canelo is like the place
El
that.
Guero
Yeah, there's a couple
Canelo.
locations, and that's where everyone went for a Sonoran
Okay.
dog.
Okay.
Ron, we'll have to take a road trip.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Well, as soon as let's see, we wrap up here at 11, ladies. Come on, we could be down there
go.
by 1 o'clock.
We
It's still the lunch
could.
hour. Anyway,
And what do you like? You said your grandkids put you onto a new hot dog trend.
this might surprise you guys, but I was over there the other day at my son and daughter-in-law's house, and she was fixing up hot dogs for the kids, and they all like it plain,
Okay.
just the bun and the dog.
Mhm.
And I'm like, sure, that's fine. Don't put anything on it. And I actually really loved it, because I'm usually one of these guys who puts like 12 different toppings on
Right,
it, right?
yeah.
Give me some onions, give me some olives.
You're like
give
me.
some
I'm
pickles.
extra. I'm like, yeah, I need
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
And a little bit of extra of everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's.
But it was good.
It was really good,
Hmm.
and now I'm on board the plane train.
See, that's the mom trick there,
Yeah.
because we're like, they don't need any added sugar from the ketchup
Right.
or the barbecue sauce or any of the
Right.
sauces.
Yeah.
I feel so bad, but I make my kids eat McDonald's with no dipping sauce.
Oh.
For the
because of
same reason. I'm just
sweetness,
like,
the
you don't
calories?
need the extra sugar. And I'm
Sounds
like, I'm already
healthier.
letting
There
you
you
have
go.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Gotta learn healthy habits at some point.
There you
Helen,
go.
There you go, Des.
A plain dog
All right,
for Ron.
so, we've
okay.
been talking about the heat and how we're kind of getting through it, and I have some video here that I think will be very relaxing for people at home, because look at the snow that came in yesterday.
Wow.
In Argentina, this is Miramar, which is just outside of the city of Buenos Aires as you get down there closer to the coastline. And the Weather Service said the chilly, chilly temps. First time they got snow there, you guys, since 1991. And you can see people are out walking around, and I'm
Lord.
surprised more people weren't walking their dogs.
That's
they
the year
love
I was
snow.
born. It's been that long?
How about that, Des?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No kidding.
Cool.
So they did say the temps could this morning get as low as 24 degrees.
Imagine how refreshing that would
way.
feel. Oh, especially after yesterday hitting a record high in the valley.
Yeah.
116.
Just
Ooh.
going
no.
from the building to the car, Yesterday after work, oh my gosh, I was sweating. It was not
But
good.
my mom is here from Buffalo, and you know, because the entire East Coast all of last week just are seeing a huge heat wave, and it's so humid. Yes, they're just dying of sweat in the house. So she actually, she's been. I've been here in the Valley for more than 5 years now. Yeah. This is the first trip where she's actually said, you know what? This heat is not so bad.
Wow.
Yes.
On board.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I mean, without that humidity, it's a different world. So it's hot, but
I would
better
take
in a way.
a dry heat over humid heat
for
any
sure.
day.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. All right, one other kind of heat-related story. This new trend on TikTok. Some of these TikTok trends you got to watch out for.
You
right?
have to watch out for them.
Okay.
They're a little weird.
But there is a new trend that to me actually sounds like maybe it makes some sense here, and it is frozen popcorn.
I'm sorry, what?
So people have been popping their popcorn and then they put it straight in the freezer. Now, I don't know if we're talking about like kettle corn. That would be good cold. Do you guys ever take a chocolate bar and just put it in the freezer and let it freeze up and then bite into it?
No, I despise that.
You despise. Des with the strong feelings here.
Not just dislike, but
Despise. Do not put your chocolate in the fridge or the freezer.
Oh boy.
So you've never had frozen M&Ms?
No.
I mean,
I feel like
peanut
that'd break
M&Ms.
like a tooth.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yes.
that chocolate's got to be nice,
Well,
like room temperature, so it melts in your mouth.
Like I always say,
Ty,
there's-
don't make that face. He's over there going like this.
Right.
I am going to try the frozen popcorn tonight, so I'll report back
That's
tomorrow.
interesting.
Okay, yeah, where'd
I'll
that
try it.
popcorn
My kids
video
will
go?
eat anything, so I'll test it out on them first.
Really? That's a great idea. Speaking of Ty, everybody, here he comes.
Here he
I don't know if he'd be willing to try the
Would
whole
you do
trend
frozen
of
popcorn?
frozen popcorn.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it's a TikTok thing.
Of course,
Which means
everything's
correct.
on TikTok
Yeah.
these days,
Which means
But
it
it's
could fade away in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
or a week,
But it's
or
popcorn.
a couple days.
Popcorn is good. In the
Yeah.
freezer, I don't know. It might be interesting. We'll have to try it.
Okay.
I have
Des-
kettle corn at home, so you know what? We'll
Good.
do it.
Frozen kettle corn. There you go.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
I'll
that
pop
even
it and then.
sounds better.
It does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kettle
right.
corn
The
part.
kettle
Then
corn.
like frozen buttery popcorn.
Ty, what do you guys got coming up on YouTube at 11 a.m. sharp?
We've got a jam-packed show once again, you guys. We are following the very latest with that Oak Ridge fire that is burning up in Navajo County, kind of in the northeastern corner of our state. So one of my Instagram friends reached out and was talking about her daughter is kind of part of this, being in part of the evacuation. So we're going to talk to her live on the phone here coming up at 11 o'clock, and she's kind of describing kind of a scary scene up there. We're also going to talk to Jerry Brown with St. Mary's Food Bank because they sent over a giant thing of supplies up to the fires. That's coming up at 11. All right, welcome on in. It is 11 o'clock on a Tuesday, and we've got a jam-packed show for you on this Tuesday.
First
don't
of
we,
all,
Anita?
how is it already Tuesday? How is it already 11
July
o'clock? And how
1st.
is it already July 1st?
I know. This past month,
Yeah.
June just flew, didn't it?
It did. The whole year has flown.
It really
I know
has.
Ron touched on this a little bit, the big fire that we are following. But
Yeah.
we wanted to go back because we have just a couple of different things that we want to visit with this big fire.
Yeah, the Oak Ridge fire. It's burning in Navajo County in the northeastern portion of our state. And that's where we're going to start here this morning because, man, this fire has just kind of really blown up. At last check, it is close to 10,000 acres. It is just shy of 10,000 acres this morning. Still no containment on this fire. And so these are some of the images that we are getting from that fire. And, man, it continues to burn out of control.
It's said to be human caused, which is really tough. Monsoon season, wildfires, sometimes some of these fires are started by lightning. Also with the heat, maybe sometimes people will throw a cigarette or cigar out of the window, dragging chains. They say this is definitely human caused.
So this all started on Saturday, and just since Saturday, if you can imagine, today is obviously Tuesday. It has blown up to close to 10,000 acres, and these images are really just scary. So this morning, we have someone that lives up in Navajo County. They right now are on set status, and we're going to bring in Ivy. She's on the phone with us this morning. Ivy, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Ivy, can you hear us now?
Yeah, can you hear
We
me?
can't hear
We can't
Ivy,
hear
so we can't
her.
ask Ivy questions.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, so Ivy, we can't hear you, so we're just going to have kind of a weird one-way conversation with you, unfortunately. But kind of describe, if you can, to folks about what exactly is happening with you right now.
well, we are up in Klagetoh here, and we are seeing a lot of smoke from that area. We're hearing it's coming up into Ganado. Ganado is only a 20-minute drive from where I live.
There we go.
Unfortunately, but kind of describe, if you can, folks. Okay. Ivy, you know what?
Can we try calling Ivy? and
Ivy, you know
doing
what?
it that
Ivy, I'm
way?
going to call you. If you want to hang up, Ivy, I'm going to call you right back so that way we can hear, because
Yeah.
I can't, if we can't hear you,
We can't
it's
do-
not going to be a very good conversation
Hold
here.
tight,
so.
folks. Everyone at home, thanks for your patience. We appreciate it. Sometimes we have little technical difficulties, right?
All right, so we're going to try it this way, the old school way, if you don't mind
Please
here.
leave your message for
Oops. This is what happens. The streaming, we sometimes try. We have these lofty goals. We hope everything works, and we get little gremlins in the system. So I'm going to give her one more second. Maybe she can hang up, and then I'm going to try and call her here. Okay, let's see if this works now. And if it doesn't, we might have to move on. Okay, here we go. It's ringing.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Hi,
Ivy, we got you now.
sorry.
Sorry about that.
Woohoo, of course. No, it's okay.
We are so glad
service is
that
bad.
we're so glad that you guys are okay, but we were just kind of describing, can you just kind of walk us through what you're experiencing right now, what you're seeing up there?
Yeah, so up there, we have a hill to the east of us, and we're seeing the smoke over the hill. This smoke, we see it in the distance from where my property is. It hasn't flown over us just yet, but I mean, I'm hearing this fire is coming up into Ganado, and we are, that's a 20-minute drive from us.
Wow.
That's just crazy. Our chapter houses up here, they're open for people to go and stay in. And I hear that the Ganado, I believe it is the schoolhouse, is open also for people.
So, Ivy, this fire broke out over the weekend. At what point did you start seeing the smoke, smelling the smoke? And at what point did you get that call that you're on set status? I know they started putting all these notices out, which means that you have to be ready to go at a moment's notice. But how quickly or how slowly maybe are things moving? Were they moving?
I noticed that, because I follow the Navajo Nation Police Department on Facebook. They're very informative, and they're going and they're posting, hey, this is who needs to be evacuated. It was Oak Ridge at first, and it's just slowly moving. That circle is just slowly moving out and out and out. Finally, that circle kind of reached us. So, of course, we have to get ready. We have 10 dogs at home. So,
Wow.
we have a lot to worry about. I believe what started Saturday, I was actually on the road in Burnside at the grocery store, and we all saw this smoke. We thought it was maybe a house fire or something, and just literally that mushroom cloud of smoke just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and by the evening it was taking up that whole part of the sunrise over our hill. So
wow,
it was pretty interesting to see from where we were.
Oh, I can only imagine. Ivy, you mentioned that you guys are now on set status, and that you've obviously got a lot of dogs to take care of. But are you going through the house and kind of packing up bags just in case you guys get that go?
Absolutely. We have our documents ready, our bags ready. We have water, just anything emergency we're taking with us.
And what is that kind of for people that
what's
maybe
going
have
through
never
your
been
mind?
through this?
You sound like you're doing okay, right? But you're probably not doing okay.
Right. It's hard, and we're packing bags of clothes, right? I have a 5-month-old I just had. So we're packing all of his stuff. We're packing, all of our formula. We're packing food, we're packing clothes, pack what you need. There's some personal items that I know I have my family grab for me as well. So it's just, it's a lot. It's a lot to think of in one moment, right? You're trying to think, okay, what can I grab? What can I grab? You can never, I guess, grab enough, right? So
as far as supplies, Ivy, what do you have? And if you needed anything else, what else are you going to get? We're going to be talking shortly here with St. Mary's Food Bank. They're sending up a huge semi to you guys.
Yes, I heard about that actually, and we are so thankful for that. And anything that is like non-perishable food, I heard that they're asking not to bring anything homemade because of possible contamination. So anything packaged is very welcome. Water, Gatorade, any clothes, any blanket. I also saw another one of my really good friends. She's out here working, and she's from Steamboat, and she said they are in need of beds, cots, new sheets, new cots, packaged blankets, just that are clean. Those are going to go a really long way for us here.
Well, Ivy, we do appreciate you taking the time to talk to us this morning. I know this is kind of a stressful time for you.
Thank you.
And your entire family. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. This is my cell phone number.
Yeah, we'll touch base with you.
If anything changes, please let us know, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for covering this and putting some light out here. It's hard out here, and we're coming together out here to make it work. So Thank you guys.
Thank you, Ivy.
Our thoughts are with you, Ivy, so keep us posted.
We've covered these fires, not this one, obviously, but we've been out on these wildfires, and it's so ominous when you're seeing that smoke. You don't know which way the fire's going. You don't know if you're going to be able to get to the store, let alone are you going to lose your house. So we mentioned St. Mary's Food Bank. We have Jerry Brown on Zoom for us today, and I think we do. Yeah, there you are, Jerry. Okay, Jerry, so you guys got the call when and from who, and what did they say they needed?
We got the call yesterday afternoon from the people that handle kind of the coordinations of these types of events. And we're used to getting these calls. We're a first responder for these types of events, fires, floods, snow. Our area is basically the Salt River North. So we cover a lot of the mountainous regions and a lot of the tribal lands in northern Arizona. So we started to put together our 52-foot trailer today, and it pulled out about 5 a.m. this morning, and it's probably about an hour outside of Fort Defiance right now, so it'll probably get there sometime around noon.
And Jerry, if folks are watching at home, I know you guys have already obviously left, but you were saying that you guys are going to do kind of like a water drive. For folks that maybe still want to help out in any way that they can, how can they do that?
Yeah, the things that were on that, there are snacks, there's emergency food boxes, there's even peanut butter sandwiches, there's bread and peanut butter so they can make sandwiches. But the main thing that they need is the Gatorade and the water. And the water is, we're happy to help out. We're happy to send the water, but it is a kind of a difficult one for us right now because of the weather that's down here in the valley. This 117-degree temperatures we had yesterday. We've had a couple at 115, 114, and we've run through our water supply pretty quickly we're going to be out purchasing water this week to try to keep up with the demand. We have another 2 to 3 months of water, another 2 to 3 months of hot water, hot weather. I'm sorry, that'll make for hot water. Hot weather ahead of us, and we're going to need to get a lot of water. So if folks can help us out, that would be fantastic. If you have an extra case of water to donate, you can come to our locations in Phoenix or in Surprise, or you can go to our website at stmarysfoodbank.org. A $25 donation will help us buy 200 bottles of water, because we're not only are we answering the call for disasters up north and the fires, but there are still people here on the ground that need it on a daily basis. We're going to be over 110 easily again today, and it's a long, hot summer ahead.
Yeah, essentially you're taking your supplies that you need and you would be distributing here and sending it up to them. So if anyone can help in any way, that will be distributed really statewide. A lot of the water, a lot of the Gatorade, I know you mentioned this morning, going to firefighters as well. It is tough out there for the crews. They're literally on the front lines. We've been out there with them, Jerry. They're standing right where that fire is burning because they're trying to stop it, eliminate it, move it, mitigate it, and they need that fuel and nourishment.
Yeah, there's more than 400 firefighters up there, both people on the lines fighting it and personnel back at the command center. So we want to make sure that they stay hydrated and fed as well. But a lot of that is going to the Fighting Scouts Event Center in Forest Defiance, and specifically for the people who are going to be evacuated. The Hunters Point and Oak Springs has been evacuated, but if it gets into a point where St. Michael's is evacuated, that's going to add a lot more people to it. We may get a second call. We'll stand by, but we wanted to get this up to them as fast as we possibly can. And I'll give a shout out to our sister food banks in New Mexico, Roadrunner Food Bank. They've already given us a call, let us know, hey, is there something we can do? Because they're actually closer to the situation, even though they're in a different state. So we'll stand by and see what's needed beyond this. But the food and the pallets and the water and the meals that went up today is a good start.
Wonderful.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got about 30 seconds left. One more time, Jer. How can people donate and make a difference? Because even if we're at home and we can't volunteer, we can do so.
Right. Come to our food banks in Surprise at Dysart and Bell Road in Surprise, 31st Avenue and Thomas in Phoenix. If you can help with an extra case of water, they're on sale this week, and you can pick up an extra one or an extra 2 or 3. Or if you'd like to make it easy on yourself, just make a $25 donation to St. Mary's.
All right, welcome back. We're going to continue with some more kind of developing news on this Tuesday. This has been a big story that we have been following here locally for quite a while. The death and the murder of Emily Pike, just 14 years old.
Yeah.
Maybe you can kind of give us a little bit of background with Silent Witness here. What exactly happened in this particular
Sergeant Brian
case?
Bauer, everyone, if you have any questions for him and how you can help, because rewards are being offered, this one's actually been increased. So let us know if you have questions.
This is a Gila County jurisdiction case. Normally, Silent Witness works for Maricopa County, but we're pushing out anywhere in the state of Arizona. So we're developing any kind of leads. The biggest purpose of Silent Witness is not just to develop the leads, but find the person that's responsible for any of these kind of crimes. So with the Emily Pike murder, this happened back in February 14th, 2025. So it is a very recent case. There's always some kind of development. And again, we're encouraging community members from all over the state to call in with whatever tip that they have. Even if they don't believe that it has a lot of information behind it, that little piece of the puzzle may be able to help detectives that have a broader understanding of the case development
and what happened.
And might be able to figure out what happened.
Because the circumstances surrounding this case pretty disturbing as well.
Yeah, the cause of death was just announced yesterday, excuse me, and it really is a very tough one.
Yeah, no, it's tough to see somebody at that age who was taken out to the desert and was dismembered. And that's really the brutality of this particular case. How many people were involved, we don't know. Something like that, as tragic as this case is, we need to find everybody that's responsible, even if it wasn't somebody who ultimately was out there in the desert committing these crimes. And if they had knowledge about it, they need to come forward and provide us what took place so that we make sure that these people don't do it again to some other victim.
Just to give you a timeline, the San Carlos Apache teen was reported missing from her Mesa group home in January, and then it wasn't until weeks later, as you mentioned, in February, that she was found. Her remains were found along US 60 northeast of Globe. So from Mesa to Globe is a huge distance. She's 14. She can't drive. So either someone helped transport her, someone may have picked her up. Someone knows something.
Yes. And even if it was somebody that intentionally or didn't intentionally know what was going to happen at the end, and might have just driven her from Mesa to that area of Globe, and maybe she got picked up by another person that went out to the desert. These are circumstances we don't know, and we're hoping the community might help us fill in these gaps.
Let's talk about the reward, because it is now up to $200,000. Is that correct?
Yes. So Silent Witness is covering $27,000. That's $25,000 that came from DPS. So DPS reached out to my office and said, we understand that you're not in charge of this investigation. We're not in charge of it, but we want to make sure that we can put out enough
incentive.
fund and incentive to cause people to realize that this is a very high-profile case. This is involving a young person that should never have been a victim of this type of crime. They wanted to be more involved. We, as Silent Witness, was willing to help provide that information, that highlight the case. But we're working closely with Gila County, with the Arizona Department of Public Safety. But I understand the FBI also has their own reward system out there. The tribal police also have their own reward. What's unique about Silent Witness, though, is we pay off based off of an arrest. A lot of places they pay off based on the conviction after the court case happens. The Silent Witness prides ourselves that we're going to pay off this money based on the arrest. So that intrigues people more to call in and give us information.
I know you guys get a lot of tips. We have talked about so many different cases where people call in. There is no tip too small or too big that could potentially lead to figuring out what happened to this poor young girl.
Absolutely. And the coverage that has been brought onto the case, if there's somebody out there that has information that might change that narrative just a little bit, that's still information that's valuable for the investigation, because it allows detectives to see it from a different perspective and come at it, the case, and solving it from a whole different vantage point.
I don't know if you are able to answer this, but you're slightly involved now. We are getting a question from Hi Johnny saying, has any other persons disappeared from that care center before?
Yeah, that's information that we don't have.
Okay.
That's definitely something that Mesa would be looking into itself. A lot of these care facilities, they have people that that leave constantly, and it's one of those things that the local police departments, they're always putting in a missing person report, so they are highlighted in a more national broad
Got
way
it.
of if they're come in contact with a police officer and their names are ran, it red flags them as a missing person, and that officer from that jurisdiction countrywide will be able to
Yeah.
notify them.
And then Husky Mom is asking, do officials believe that she's part of a larger, longer range case? And that's where you were saying at this point, no one knows.
Exactly. And the more information that detectives can receive from the community, from folks all the way in the globe to Mesa and everywhere in between, it's going to give us a better understanding of where to take this investigation.
Let's talk about this. Everything with Silent Witness obviously is anonymous, and folks always ask us, like, how is that?
Is
Can
it
you
really?
walk us through real quick just kind of how people remain anonymous with any type of tip that goes out to you guys?
Absolutely. So I'd encourage people to go and just Google P3 tips. What this program is as you make that phone call into our phone call center, the call center is actually in Texas. So it's nothing local. We try to keep it as distant as possible. You talk to a person on that line, they give you an ID number. That ID
No
number
names,
is
nothing.
who you are. We're not going to require any names. We don't want to know your name. They give you an ID number, and that's the name that we're going to refer you to is that name. So with that ID number, you'll be able to call up and you'll be able to find out where the tip is in correlation to the case itself. But that's how we protect people's anonymity, is through providing them a case ID number, and that's how we're going to refer to them.
This particular flyer, is that up on your website so people can go look at it?
So it's in the process of being up on our website. I
Okay.
know Arizona Department of Public Safety, they're going to put that on their social media.
Okay.
So we encourage anybody to grab this. If they need it, a copy of it, and they want one, they can always reach out to my office at Silent Witness. I can provide that to them as well. I know you guys have it on your website as well.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Great information. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and this case is one of those cases that keeps keep getting new information
Yeah,
over and
which
over
is
again.
good.
So yeah, so
Which
we're
is
going to
good.
continue to keep this in the news because
Yeah.
this is obviously kind of a scary situation that unfolded. So we of course are going to stay on top of this.
Okay, busy day. One more guest, but this one a little more lighthearted.
Yes, we get to have a nice
a little more lighthearted. This is Shanna Israel.
Hello.
Hello.
Good
Nice and
morning.
close
Good
to that mic
morning.
for us. There we go. Thanks for your patience. There's so much going on. You just never know what's going to happen
That's right.
in the world of news,
That's
right?
right.
So you are a local creative wellness expert. What exactly is that?
Well, it's a mixture of my life, and that's what that is. I'm an artist. I've always been an artist my entire life, but I've also been someone who has suffered and gone through a very difficult health journey, and seeing over 150 medical professionals. I would
Wow.
say that I'm definitely an expert in knowing how to navigate trauma and just wellness overall, and having to really save my own life through art, through being creative, and also just knowing the going through life is you have to be creative through navigation, period, and we all do.
So the creativeness, or whether it's your drawing or
Yes.
meditating, is that helping you heal physically and mentally?
Both.
Both.
Yes, and that's why it was so important for me to be here talking about this today and creating Art Fun RX, is because really the combination of what I went through, these are non-invasive techniques, and art has always been a healing method for me. As we know, art as therapy is definitely a healing process for so many people. But included into the art process, you don't, with what we do, you do not have to have prior art experience. I didn't want to make this about being an artist.
Or perfectionist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
This is where you let go.
That's exactly
Yeah.
it.
Is this the kit?
This is the
What's
kit.
in it?
So this is called Soccer
Here, we'll
Shine.
hold this for you.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
And what's in here?
Oh, cute.
See, you get to do wearable art.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so I provide fabric
Everything.
markers. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a gratitude jar because, again, this is science behind everything we do. It looks fun, and it is fun. But more to the point, there's science in everything that you're seeing here. And that's why I really wanted to bring the science of the medical journey into a very fun and artistic way. And this is, like, for example, with gratitude. If you practice this consistently, you're able to retrain your brain through your neural pathways and actually help lessen anxiety symptoms, depression symptoms. So And if you do it repetitiously, that's the key.
Yeah.
You
Show
have
us
to,
how you do
The
it.
more gratitude you have, the more you get.
So is this
exactly.
one of those two?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
This
that's
is an
the finish
example?
because
Oh, this is the
inside,
finished one.
yeah,
Okay.
inside basically you get 14 days worth of note cards.
Oh, I see.
And then you get stickers and positive affirmations along with it, because it's important to surround yourself in the environment that you really want to be
With
in,
the
right?
I post those
Exactly.
every single day.
Exactly.
You have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so think positive, be positive.
Okay.
And that's exactly with all of the things that you see here. It's before bed, you're in your brain state before you go into sleep. You go into your subconscious and you write down and think for a second, what am I grateful for? And we all have something to be grateful
Is it grateful
for.
from the day?
It doesn't
Or
have
doesn't-
to be.
When anything.
It can be anything.
Grateful for my dog.
Exactly.
For good coworkers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what if you're having a bad day though, and you really like, man, nothing went my way?
Yeah. Well, that's
when you
practice.
really need to
gotta
dig
dig
it up.
That's the practice.
That's when you dig it
well,
up.
and even the fact that you get to think about that you're in a bed, for example.
Yeah.
Right? And your very hard days, just that you're laying down in a bed.
And
that,
you're finally
that-
relaxing.
Exactly. That can even change your
and that's
your
almost the
mindset.
next day.
Exactly.
Yeah, this card says gratitude turns what we have into enough, which is what I said.
Yes.
The more you're grateful for, the more you have to be grateful
Yes,
for.
that's exactly it.
It's hard to it's hard to live that way.
It is
though.
very hard. It's a practice, like learning a language.
Sure.
It's something that you have to, just like anything we do in life. If you want to be good at whatever you're doing, you have to practice it.
And we always talk about making a habit.
Yeah.
It takes a while before you kind of get into that habit making
Yes.
mindset. But once you do, you kind of fall into that pattern, and it
Yeah.
can really help.
We have
Exactly.
a question, and
Sure.
this is kind of a generic question, but someone, hi Johnny, has asked our producer Dave, do people get very nervous before they get behind the mic, and then how do we help them calm down? You're an expert at that.
Breathing.
Oh, there you
Breathing.
go, breathing.
Yes, you take slow breaths, and at a count of 5, you breathe in, hold it 5 seconds, slowly breathe out 5 to 7 seconds, and just immediately you can feel your physical sense just calm down, your brain calm down, and that will help your anxiety
Yeah.
pipe down. And that's another thing that we teach in these courses is that if you want to calm down anxiety immediately, we give quick tip tools on how to, like EFT tapping, which is an emotional freedom technique. We figure out and we navigate with the audience of how to calm down whatever anxieties they have.
We have less than a minute.
Sure.
Tell people how to get a hold of you, how they can get one of these kits, how they can take one of your classes.
Sure. artfunrx.com, and what's coming up in July that we can offer, we're offering Mind Hype, which is an exercise class for your mind. And so it's the first in the state, and I'm very excited about it because just, again, like repetitiously exercising your body and
It's
a muscle,
true.
now you're exercising your mind to, live healthier and have more
We got
optimism in your
10
life.
seconds. That
Yes.
website one more time.
artfunrx.com.
All right. Thanks for
We'll
coming.
post that, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was great.
Thank you.
Get your gratitude cards out.
Okay.